Hello YouTube, welcome in! I'm now your local Polish cat, and today I'm gonna react to 13 etiquette rules in the US that surprised tourists. I've never been outside Europe before, I need to say it, so I'm kind of scared of this, but I had a lot of good and bad stuff about America, so I'm excited to see this one. Enjoy!
So our parents teach us to be polite, but what you learned as a kid doesn't always apply when you're in another part of the world. So if you're heading to the US anytime soon, I've got some tips for you on
Let's
what
go.
we Americans consider the rules of etiquette, and some stuff that's totally okay in the US that other countries might consider rude.
Okay.
Let's start off with my favorite, food etiquette. Number 1. Feel free to ask for some condiments.
What
If
is
you're eating
that?
out and your food is tasting a little bland, it's completely fine to ask for salt, pepper, or sauces to add a little zing to your meal.
Oh.
I know some places in Europe see it as an insult to the chef if you start adding a little spice of your own.
What?
But don't worry about that in the US. Nobody's going to be offended or give you weird looks if you ask the waiter for a bottle of ketchup. Even if you're at someone's house visiting, they won't see it as a jab to their culinary skills either. Some just like it spicier than others.
Okay, I would say definitely. If you're gonna ask for something, like some more spices, I think most of the chefs will look at it and won't have any issue with it. But if you're going to some typical restaurant that sells food only from one part of the world, or they just specialized in this specific kind of the food, they ain't gonna like it. You know, they're gonna be like, that's how you eat it. You don't like it, it's your taste buds issue, not the chef issue.
Number 2. Always tip.
No, this one is so weird for me, and I'm not even gonna laugh about it. This one is so weird for me, because here we almost never tip anyone. Like here, tipping is really rare. It's not an abstract thing to do, right? But it's so rare. We don't do tips, and if someone wants a tip, they better do a really good job. But that's because they getting some wages, okay? Like maybe usually kellners and waitress, or maybe delivery people, they get like minimal wage, but still that is our wage. They don't need tips to stay alive.
Okay, well, maybe not always, but it's a rare occurrence if you don't tip your waiter, hairdresser, cab driver, and so on. And only if the service was really awful. But even then, a lot of Americans feel guilty about not leaving any tip. The rule is 15 to 20% of the bill.
That's so much.
Get ready to do some mental math each time you eat out. I've heard that tipping isn't a thing in some countries,
Yeah.
especially in East Asia, where restaurant staff always provide good service no matter what. But in the US, it's simply a sign of gratitude that your waiter did a good job, even though they're probably tired, their feet hurt, and they've got a bunch of other tables to tend to.
Okay, I would say, once again, I don't know why, but I feel like tipping at this point in America is everywhere. And I only saw people complaining about it. I don't know.
Clean up after yourself at fast food restaurants.
Yeah, that's
Of course,
normal.
if you're going to the States, I imagine a lot of your eating out will be done in fast food joints.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot more of those than your traditional sit and be served by a waiter types of places. But anyways, if you're finished eating and your tray is now full of wrappers, used napkins, and empty boxes, take it to the trash can and dispose of the garbage yourself.
Yeah.
Most fast food
Wait, that's
places don't
normal,
have a separate
isn't it?
cleaning staff for that. It's pretty much always the cashier that needs to find time between ringing people up to go clean up the dining area. So we try to help them out a bit and clean up after ourselves.
Yeah. That's normal,
Number
I
4.
suppose.
Open gifts immediately in front of the giver.
Oh, ew.
Now, I was pretty surprised when I found out that opening a gift as soon as you get it is considered bad manners in certain parts of the world.
Yeah.
I guess some cultures see it as kind of greedy when you
Yeah.
start tearing into a present right away. In the US, it's pretty much the opposite. Open it as soon as you get it, right in front of the giver. That way, they can see your reaction and you can thank them right there on the spot. There are also no rules about using both hands or a certain hand when giving or receiving a gift. Just grab it and open it already.
I think it depends on the occasion and it depends who gives you the gift. Because if you're just getting some random gift, let's say in the work, I think opening it right before the person who gave it to you is like weird. But if someone really close to you just gives you the gift and you're just, alone with them, there's nothing going on, you have time to do it. That's completely normal to do it in front of someone. But I don't understand this like giving someone the gift just to see their reaction. I imagine giving a gift to like my friend, let's say, them opening it, and if it's not something they wanted or something they need, it's just something that they don't find good right now for them. They just gonna straight up tell this to me. And it would be so sad for me to just see the disappointment in their eyes. That would be so sad, isn't it? But I feel like America is a lot more positive. It's like, I feel Americans, it doesn't matter what you're gonna get, they always happy about everything. They always show a lot of positiveness. So I imagine if you're giving something to someone in America, they always gonna be positive about it. At least that's how I imagine it with my American friends. They always like that. It doesn't matter like how small of a gift they getting from me or how small wishes they getting from me or whatever is happening, basically. They're always so positive.
Be ready for small talk.
Ew.
How about that game last night? Whew. When's this weather gonna let up already? Yes, Americans love small talk, so don't be surprised if a stranger just starts chatting with you while you're waiting in line or sharing an elevator. It could be sports, the weather, traffic, anything just to have a short, light conversation. I can't really say why we like talking to people we don't even know, but I mean, if you're sharing a space with someone, are you just going to totally ignore their presence? That'd be awkward. Oh yeah,
No, it's not awkward. It's just everyone minds their own business and that's it. Bro, here in Poland, small talk almost does not exist. I cannot imagine someone randomly starting to talk to me or me talking to someone, let's say in a Żabka, in a like Polish 7-Eleven. I cannot imagine it. It would be so suspicious. Like here, if someone starts talking to you on the street, the first thing you have in your head is that person a scammer? Are they trying to ask me if I have, I don't know, an account in some kind of bank? Or if they're gonna ask me if I have 5 water so they can go and buy beer for themselves or something? That's the first thing we have in the head. It's not like, oh, this person's so nice, they talk to me. No, it's like, is this a scam? Why are they talking to me? Do I look like I want to talk to someone or do I look like someone they can scam? I don't want to talk to them. You know the memes about the Polish smile? Yeah, that's true. When you're going outside on the street, everyone is not smiling. There's no smile on anyone's face. No one looks like they want you to talk to them. But I feel like that's charming. Okay, everyone's just minding their own business. We do not talk with each other at all.
You'll get asked how you're doing a lot, even by strangers. It's usually waiters and cashiers that'll greet you with a, "Hi, how are you today?" Just answer with "Fine, and you?" Even if you're not exactly having a fantastic day. Number 6. Expect a lot of smiles. First of all, let me bust the myth that Americans constantly walk around smiling ear to ear. Nobody does that, because that'd be weird. But again, if you're sharing a space and making small talk with a stranger, or maybe someone opens or holds the door for you, they'll smile at you, and it's polite if you do the same. Cashiers and waiters also greet you with a big friendly smile. I read somewhere that this goes back to our early history as a country built by people who all spoke different languages. They didn't understand each other all that well, so they just smiled. But I still think we just like to be open and kind. Number 7. Respect the bubble.
What?
Now, here's a pretty funny thing about Americans.
What bubble?
We're friendly, we love to chat, but we also really like our personal bubble. The unspoken rule is to stand about an arm's length away when you're talking with someone.
What?
We're also not too big on touching during conversation, because this can be misconstrued as a way of flirting.
What?
Of course, the rule doesn't apply with close friends and family, but still, even then, most Americans aren't too touchy-feely.
Oh, that sounds completely normal.
Number
Just
8.
personal space, nothing
And
more.
definitely no kissing.
Oh.
I know in countries like Spain and France, People often greet each other with a peck or two on the cheek. There might be some Americans who greet the European way, but overall, we don't kiss each other as a way to say hi. Again, my personal bubble is my sanctuary, so don't come in it with puckered lips ablazing. Mwah, mwah, mwah. It's best to just say hi, smile, and keep it at that.
Well, I would say that's the same here, but there's one exception from this rule, and that is your grandma. Because there's a pretty big chance your grandma, your Polish babushka, though it's not babushka, it's babcia. Okay, it's not babushka. I don't know where this babushka even came from. It's babcia. But okay, imagine just your grandma always welcoming you with some kisses on your cheeks. And of course, those needs to be free kisses, okay? Left one, right one, and left one again. Just like that. It can be even your aunt, okay? The older the person in your family is, there is the biggest chance you will get kisses from them. I don't know why it works like this, but it does work like that. And I remember when I used to be really young, I hated to go to my grandma's place just because of that. Just because I hated this feeling, you know, of her mouth on my face. Other than this, no one gonna kiss you, at least in Poland.
Number 9. Being loud is usually okay. The stereotype of the loud American tourist might ring true most of the time, since we tend to project our voices, even out in public. It's not that we're yelling all the time, but I'd say we certainly speak louder than people in Europe or Asia. I've gotten some friendly reminder to take it down a few decibels when visiting my friends abroad. But hey, if you're ever in the States, feel free to laugh out loud or get particularly animated while telling a joke. But of course, there's a time and place for that. You still have to hush down in places like libraries. Shh.
This emote is
Number
scary.
10. Indirectness
I don't
is
know.
politeness. So here's the thing about Americans. A direct, no, I don't want, or like that, is seen as pretty rude.
What?
But if an American gives you a polite, no thanks, I'd rather not, or I don't think that's the best idea, that doesn't mean that they're on the fence about it. No means no, even if it's said indirectly and super politely.
Oh.
It's frowned upon to try and convince someone to do something or change their mind because it's seen as pushy and disrespectful to their wishes.
And the big thing that I really treasure about this land is that people are really, really direct with each other. They're just honest about everything. And usually it's the same with the question, oh, how you doing? Oh, how is your day or something, okay? Like here, it doesn't matter who you're gonna ask, if it's someone really close to you, or maybe just a random person from your work, or maybe from your class, or anything like that. They're just gonna straight up say that, yeah, my grandma just died. I'm just coming back from the funeral. Oh yeah, and currently I'm having some issues in my home. Yeah, the pipe is leaking, and well, I need to stand over 20 hours per day there, just holding the pipe, so I won't drown my neighbors or something like this. Like, people are gonna be really, really honest about everything, and they're just gonna tell you everything straight up. And I think that's the big issue with me as well, because sometimes people say it as complaining, but no, it's not like about complaining. It's more about like just being simply honest with everything going around. So I feel like it's a small issue for me when, you know, some people not from Poland are asking to me, chatting with me, trying to small talk with me, okay? And just asking me about, yeah, how we doing or something. And I'm like, I have this issue and I have this issue and that thing is currently on my mind and it cannot believe it. Something like that, okay? I'm looking a bit too negatively about everything. But we're just being honest, and that's it. Okay. No, but it's just something about being honest that brings people together. Okay, if like you're gonna get some friends, and you all guys gonna just complain together about something, it's gonna bring you closer. But overall, I would say being completely honest, it's always better than being fakely positive.
Sit in the back seat of a cab. Now this is something interesting I found out about Australia and New Zealand. There, it's considered rude to take the back seat of a cab because it's almost like you're showing that you expect to be chauffeured by someone who's lower than you. Well, don't worry about that in the US. In fact, you should ride in the back seat because the driver might give you a weird look otherwise. It's not an elitist thing, and you can still make friendly small talk from the back. Just respect the driver's personal bubble, that's all.
But can I sit next to the driver at the passenger seat, but from in the front? Or is it not nice? Yeah, I don't know now. I don't know now. Does that only occur with like Uber drivers or something? Because I cannot imagine driving somewhere with a friend and sitting behind them. That sounds rude, like straight up rude. But if it's just an Uber driver, no, I would just go to the back and that's it. Not worries about it. But that's because, well, there's not that many small talks over there. Okay, with Uber drivers, I kind of think it's a big different case. Because I would say it's 50-50. 50% chance your Uber driver won't say anything to you. Not even a single word. They just might ask your name just to confirm that, yeah, it's you who ordered the ride or something. And the other 50% is the driver just gonna randomly tell you his entire story of life. He will say that, yeah, he just divorced, has a separation from his wife, but they got 3 kids or something. And I'm kidding you not. I think it happened to me with the last 3 Uber drives I had. Drives, right? 3 Uber rides. And I don't know why it's always the story about being divorced or being in separation with kids or something like this. It's always one of two.
Number 12. Feel free to keep your shoes on inside.
Ew.
I had a friend
Ew.
from Russia recently ask me, why is it that in all American movies, people are walking around their house with their shoes on?
Yeah, that's
And I just
disgusting.
told him straight up, because that's what we do.
Ew.
Now, there are plenty of families here that don't have a no shoes indoors policy, although I'd say the majority don't. So here's a good rule of etiquette to live by if you ever visit an American's home. When you walk in, ask if you should take your shoes off at the door. If they say, nah, you're okay, don't feel bad about walking around their house in your shoes. I know it seems bizarre to most people around the world,
Yeah.
but it's a-okay here.
No, it just sounds bad. Like, imagine you just mop the entire floor in your apartment. You're getting friends over and they coming in with shoes on. That's nasty. That's really nasty. I would say it's always the best to just have some flip-flops near your door. So you're just coming in, taking off your outdoor shoes, going in, getting on your flip-flops, and you're just coming around, and that's it, okay? This way, you don't need to worry that that floor is nasty because you got your flip-flops, and at the same time, you won't make the floor even more nasty that it already is. But I don't understand why people have so much issues with not taking off their shoes. It's just a typical thing to do here. Like, you don't even need to ask. It's just so common. People assume you're gonna take off your shoes here when you come into the house, okay? It's just so common. The only uncommon moment is like, I don't know, let's say you're getting a landlord visit or something, or a worker visit, or maybe your laundry machine broke and there's a guy coming in to fix it. That's the only moment when they won't ask and they won't take it off. But just because they're gonna be there for 5 seconds to come in, just check something, fix something, and they're just gonna go away. Nothing more, and nothing less.
13.
What?
It's okay to keep it casual.
Are you?
Overall, I'd say the biggest thing about Americans is that most of us are pretty casual and laid
That's
back.
true.
If you're ever out and about in the US, you'll see a lot of people running errands in sweatpants, gym shorts, baseball caps, and even their
Yeah.
PJs. But it's not just about clothes either. We often keep it on a first-name basis, even with people that are generally referred to more formally in other countries. For example, most of the time your boss is just Jim or Janet, not Mr. or Mrs. Jones. You might start off more formally, but I guarantee you that that person will say right off the bat, hey, call me Jim. Now, what would be weird is if their name isn't Jim. Maybe it's Howard or Benny. Then what you say is, hey, call me a cab. So, are any
cab?
of these Americanisms different?
When it comes to addressing people more casually or not, I think it's like really simple here. Basically, if someone didn't ask you to call them by name, which pretty rarely happens, just keep calling them like sir or madam. And usually that's how we're gonna refer to everyone around. The only difference is if they're just gonna say out loud, yeah, just call me by my name. Though it's not that usual as well. It depends probably with how much time you spend with someone. If it's just your boss, then you're gonna probably call him sir. Nothing more, nothing less. I would say overall, after watching all of it, I think I knew most of it without any new surprises. But there was one thing that was a pretty big shock to me, and that was the first one. The first one about the culinary stuff, that you can basically go and ask around to add more spices or more the flavor to your meal. That one was pretty new to me. Out of everything, I never really saw any of those in the media or from my friends. I never learned about this one. But that's it. I hope you enjoy it. Is it the same in your country? Let me know. I'm actually curious about it. Learning about some cultural differences is always the best part of this kind of videos, isn't it? So let me know. And thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun and see you tomorrow. Bye bye!